Right. Well, good day and welcome to Crypto Monday's Chapter Champions meeting, 5th of May. And it's exciting to see you all here. And thank you for coming and thank you for volunteering to share from your different chapters. So we've got an agenda today. Global update from Lou, as usual, and new introductions, anybody that hasn't been on here before. And then Alan's going to take us through, super exciting that we're launching the Agent MonDAI demo today. So he's going to do a little demo for us. He's been having some fun. I'm sure he'll explain it to you. And then a check-in from David. Is David here yet? Anyway, with a bit of luck, he joins us from New York or on Vegas or wherever he's been recently. And then Caitlin, thanks so much for being here, taking time out of your busy schedule. So I'll be looking forward to hearing the latest from London from you. And then Carlos, if he arrives, he'll be updating us on Andorra. And then Pat's going to just give us the latest on Stanford. And then I'll just talk very briefly about partnerships. And then we'll get a check in from anybody that happens to be here and isn't on this list, because we'd love to hear from anybody that's anywhere. Anything that can contribute to the ecosystem, the network is just super cool to have. So I think let's hand over to Lou to kick off with the intro.
Okay, great. Thanks, Robin. And people are still coming. I saw there's one person in the room who I'm not familiar with the name, and that is Elmer. Elmer, you want to intro yourself?
Yes, I'm part of the LearnVolt
Ah,
community with
okay.
Wayne
With
Hey,
Marcel
yeah,
and
yeah,
Chelsea.
awesome.
excellent.
Glad you can
Okay,
make it. I was just hanging with Wayne last night
Cool.
in Miami. Yeah,
Great.
I actually got a picture of him here. Let me share my screen. Do 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 do. 1 second. Do 1 moment. All right, there we go. So the major initiatives that are going on at Crypto Mondays, obviously everybody should know about this. Obviously we're still focused on the meetups, continuing to grow the existing chapters and optimize them and grow new chapters. Monday is the most exciting thing in my view to happen in the history of Crypto Mondays. So I'm incredibly excited today. The work that Alan's done has really been astounding. And I think we've really just begun. The beta is launching today, so everybody here should sign up for the beta, should start using it. What it is today is it's obviously day one, but hopefully you can start to see what the future can look like with community management AI agent. So super excited for Alan's to walk through that with everybody today. And then the last is the Decentralized AI Agent Alliance, which we started last January, really in support of MonDAI. And Crypto Mondays by the numbers. It's funny because when I visit the different chapters, everybody uses different numbers. We should put this up on Monday, so we all use the same numbers when we talk about Meetup. Today there are 64 active chapters across 23 countries, and 150,000 plus members. And so those are numbers that we use. I want to give a big shout out to Alberto, Praveen, I think, who's here today, is also part of Crypto Monday of Vegas. You know, uh, you we do major Crypto Mondays at the major events. And Alberto, who's here. Alberto, say hey.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Good. So it was crushed Bitcoin Mondays, Vegas. Let's see. There's a picture. Yeah, there's just some random pics that I had. There's Wayne, a guy next to on all the way on the right. That's Wayne Marcel, runs Crypto Monday New Orleans. Next to him is Charlie, who runs Crypto Mondays Palo Alto. Lori, who's helping with Crypto Monday Connecticut. And it was just a really fabulous evening. So kudos, Alberto, Praveen. It was really awesome. And you had another one last night, Alberto?
Yeah, so we had another one last night. About 20, probably maybe 30 people showed up. Mostly Vegas locals. I didn't think as many people were going to show up given consensus is happening right now.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. But yeah, so they're off and running. That was great. And then another huge shout out to Crypto Mondays Miami. That was really last night. Praveen was a part of that as well. Great seeing you last night, Praveen, and as well as Julie Lamb and Ivan Adimov, who does Crypto Mondays Fort Lauderdale. And it was a whole day starting at I think it started at 2 o'clock with a classroom setting. Multiple people came in and talked about different things going on in crypto, including quantum. The guy in the red hat, John Najarian, he was a big CNBC personality. So you really super high quality folks in the room. Was very, very impressive. At the same time as Crypto Monday started at 5:30. At 6:30 at the same hotel, Anglers. Meanwhile, a Bitcoin uh, insurance company, hired Crypto Mondays to host a dinner for them and bring a bunch of Bitcoin whales to the dinner. And this is the third thing that we've done for Meanwhile. I would say the first two. Jason, who's the guy here, wasn't that happy about. So we kept on working to, what is it? He's this guy standing speaking. This is the third one, and he said we knocked it out of the park. So, sometimes with sponsors, it takes a little while to find, what's exactly the right formula for success for the win-win. And we definitely found that last night with Meanwhile. Again, Julie just killed it to get the right folks at this dinner. So impressive. And then, here's a group of Crypto Monday organizers, Praveen on the right, Julie, Ivan next to Julie, Eliza, who runs Crypto Monday Austin, me, and then David Fung, who helps with New York, and Wayne from New Orleans was also there. Lisa CM from Jackson Hole was there. Carlos, who just started Crypto Mondays Andorra, was there. I did not meet him, though. Hopefully, I'll meet him before he takes off from Miami. And I've talked about this, the sub brands, the Crypto Mondays is growing. So CM Institutional, CM Decentralized AI, Bitcoin Mondays. That was launched last week in Vegas. That was Bitcoin Mondays. And then CM on Zoom. And so you'll be hearing more about all these sub brands in the future. Uh, MonDAI launches in beta. I'm going to turn it over to Alan in just a moment. Super excited about that. And just last thing is update on DAAA. We're up to 149 project members, 59 individual members, so we're up to 208 total. The plus fours is how much we grew just in the last month. And then, operationally, the idea of DAAA is we operate in subgroups to solve problems. Newest subgroup that was just formed, very excited about, is the Identity, AI Agent Identity subgroup. And that's going to be chaired by Miko Matsuhura, is one of the leading crypto VCs. So super excited about that. Now that's my update. Back to you, Robin.
Thanks a million, Lou. That's super dynamic. Exciting stuff happening. So it'd be lovely to hear from some of you that have been at these events. So over to Alan now, who's been working hard on his Agent MonDAI for us, and technically it's being launched today. This is an exclusive. And we're going to start with the chapter champions first. We're guinea pig it on you. So watch carefully. There'll be a test afterwards. Only joking.
Okay, so we'll just get rid of a couple screens here. Everybody can see my screen here with Agent MonDAI.
Yep.
We've got a login screen, which is pretty simple, but when you come here, it'll ask you to create an account. If you filled out a membership form, there's an onboarding process, and it may ask you a few more questions, but I'm just going to jump in here. And there's really two sides of this whole application. One is very kind of Web 2 and shows you everything that we've been working on and what we've been doing in Crypto Mondays and prior in Crypto Oracle. And the other side, this is your dashboard here, but the other side is the agent itself. I'll come back to that in a second, but I'm just going to, this is kind of your control center over here. You've got a spotlight, what you've been doing in recent activity. You've got community news that anybody can submit something into this, and it'll show up in everybody's feed. We have the ability to connect to other members So we have 465. I gotta see if I can move my screen a little bit so I can see all this. And you can search through this through find by interests. This will just give you other people who have similar interests as you. You can find by tags. You can self-select these in your profile so we know who is whose interests are whose, I guess if you want to say it that way. But we have profiles in here for all of the individual members. You can find by groups. So Bitcoin Mondays, if you can self-select this also if you want to be a member of that group. You can invite new users from outside the membership, the current membership. This will send an invitation to them and they'll get a nice little note from you. Just put in their email address and they'll get a link to sign up. You also can make connections. So as you make them, the other person can accept or decline, and you can build a list of people that you have connections to within the community, and you can categorize them, whether they're a collaborator or have some other relationship with you. We also just have simple events. So this is coming out of our Luma feed. We have all of the featured guests that are coming up that we have on Zoom. We have a section here on submitted, but this is just, if you are submitting an event, anybody can submit that. We can look through and check these here that might be an internal thing or some local thing. Anybody can suggest a featured guest. If you have someone that you think would be great to be on one of our Zoom calls on Wednesdays. And we have some of the recent featured guests in here. We also have an archive of all of the YouTube videos we've done all the way back to 2023. If you want to look at a summary of one of these things, you want to look at a transcript of it, it's here. Some of this is not populated. I've only got about a year's worth so far in there. So be patient as we load all this stuff. We have a learn section that sometimes you have to refresh. So we have a lot of items in here that someone can come in and go right out to the resource itself if they need to see a little bit more about what it is. And we also have a section on earning. So if we go through all of the different external places that you might be able to either find something on lending, liquidity, job. We have some test data in here, so you can ignore some of that as we go through, but you can just focus on each one of these. Big thing is the chapters that I think you might all be interested in. I'm a member of New York at the moment, but that's just really testing because I'm actually in Arizona. We have a list of all the chapters. So as you guys sign up, your chapter will be claimed, and you'll be able to people will be able to find you and connect to you. So if I wanted to connect to Eliza right now, I could send an email asking if I could connect with her and send a personal note. We also have resources for chapters. So we have a little bit of content in here, what it takes to run a successful chapter. We also have starting a new chapter in your city. So we got different versions of this. But if you wanted to add something, you can add that type of content. You can say whether it's relative to just your chapter or if it's relative to all. And you can also collaborate by allowing others to edit the particular resource. So if you're working on something together. You can also post community updates, and this will show up on everybody's dashboard. You can go through and edit these. So there's multiple ways of communicating with people, of working with the chapters, of people coming in and finding their chapter and be able to connect with people. And with Agent MonDAI, you can kind of do the same thing. You could ask it, simple things, somebody coming in here, what is Crypto Mondays? It'll go out and summarize that. If you want to find someone who knows tokenization, it'll come up, search through, and bring up a list. You can connect with somebody right here, get directly to them, or go, whoops, to their, yep, that actually worked, to their LinkedIn. If you want to search through the archives, you can do that. You can view a summary right from here also of a particular item. So if you have a particular topic that you're looking for, you remember something that happened, but don't recall who it was, you can search on that. You can. I'm also building in the ability for the agent to do things like create an opportunity. So rather than come over to the earn and submitting an opportunity, which anybody can do, you can also do that right from the agent itself. Create an opportunity. Hey, I have a job. Can you create an opportunity for me? And it'll go ahead and do it. So it's going to be much more functional. It's really a lot of this is kind of designed to help bring new people into learning Web3. So it's familiar. They'll know what it is that is capable of being accessed through the agent, and then they can, start working with the agent and asking it things and asking it to do things. There'll be more coming in, such as being able to schedule tasks, have a periodic update, ask it to do things for you. And, as you jump in and run through here, you can also just send feedback. I've got a couple extra things as an admin in here, but you'll have a My Profile where you can set up your basic information, edit it at any time, your preferences, social links, your privacy. If you don't want to show a particular thing like your email, you can pull that out. You can also supply feedback and support. So if you have anything that you want to, something's broken or something is that you think it would be a great feature, please submit it. We'll work on it. Or if just as something's broken, let us know and we'll work through there. So that's kind of the main overview. I don't know if anybody has any questions or.
Yeah, Crystal just asked a question. She said, is it possible to, well, Crystal, are you able to talk or are you?
Yes. I was just
Oh, there
saying,
we go.
thank you. In the earn section, can you put, I'm having an event, Crypto Monday event, and I am looking for 3 people to be on a panel and post it there and look for people to help be on that panel?
Sure. I mean, I
Well,
hadn't thought about it in those
that
terms.
probably wouldn't go in the earn section.
It
Where would
could,
that go?
I think that would go in the connect section. Right?
Next
Connect
section.
is, how do you find the people that you want to find who have the attributes that you're looking for?
Yeah, or as a chapter lead, you could just put it into communications and it'll show up on everybody's feed right here in community news. Or you could just submit
Oh,
it right
cool.
here. Hey, I'm looking for someone to be on this panel on this date. Anybody interested? And it'll pop right into their feed.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's kind of like what I was asking also before the everyone got on the call today, like a couple minutes earlier. Like, one-off things like what Crystal was mentioning. Seems like Earn might be like, like actually a gig economy or a job, but like a panel, I think that's actually useful and a regular thing, especially for Vegas and Miami. People might just come for, a couple days. Not as a regular thing.
No, I mean, that's obviously something that we hope that the platform is able to really, really help with, for all of
Okay.
us to get
Because of the
featured guests,
connections thing,
speakers.
yeah, the connections thing seems like connecting with someone,
It can be with
or
someone, it can be with a company, it can be with a
okay.
sponsor, it can be with, anybody that you want to connect with.
Right.
Yeah.
But what Crystal seems to be saying, at least I don't want to put words in her mouth, but what I get from it is more of as a marketplace of people wanting to do stuff at a chapter type thing, like the panel coming in, etc. but like two-way, people coming need the speakers, but also have the opportunity to host a panel. And I think like it might be where if we know someone like John Najarian, which obviously thanks to Julie Lamb and all them last night, we met in Miami. If we know he's coming to Vegas and he makes it known to us that he wants to do an event in Vegas, that's great because I mean we're always not going to be in the same room with them at the time for them to ask physically like they did last night, but on the platform it'd be great for them to do it too. And then they can we can pick it up. But Alberto can pick it up.
Undoubtedly. I mean, this is obviously day zero, right?
Yeah,
We're just starting, and the question is, okay, we've got now this skeleton. I mean, it's really
that's great. Yeah,
amazing
looks
the
really
work
good.
that Alan's done. And the question now is, how do we collectively, move it forward so it's able to add as much utility to ourselves, our community, and our members as possible.
Yeah.
And I think initially, right, this is a beta test, so initial ideas will come from all of us, the organizers, but hopefully pretty quickly, all our members will be able to provide not only suggest us what to do, but they can build it, and then they can just become new skills for us.
Do you mind
Yeah,
if we
thanks
Yeah,
for
ask
Alan.
making this,
Caitlin?
Alan.
Yeah, Alan, thank you so much for making this. Yeah, it would be great to have a section where you can go and say it's like speaking opportunities or something like that, and we could all post in there, and then members would get like a notification if they're looking to speak or grow their project. It would just be an easy notification, but this is amazing. Thank you.
All right. Great.
Caitlin, you're on.
Yeah, my question was just really about because I know that I'll get this question from like our community. It's just sort of about security and privacy. Like how are we handling that from the back end on the agent?
Yeah, it's a super-based backend at the moment. Everything's encrypted. It is row-level security. So I've been going through some security audits, and the agent itself I've isolated. It's actually running NanoClaw that I took because it's very security oriented, and I've been modifying it for multi-user and multi-agent. So every time you spin up a chat, it actually creates a new container on the back end that's explicitly for that chat. So if you have 4 chats open simultaneously, you have 4 agents running for you in the background. The main thing though is this is really a community basis. So, it should be no personal information. Shouldn't be putting anything in there, and I probably need to make that a little bit more explicit in here. But
Alan, you wanna show them the T&C that up?
Oh.
So how sensitive it is.
yeah, I mean everything is. Let's go find this. If you
So
go to
obviously,
the site,
security and privacy we're tandem, but it is early days and there are risks, and you shouldn't be putting this information into any AI.
yeah, so it's you got all the a privacy policy in here, what's shown, but the basic premise is if you're putting it in, it has value to the community and it should be shared with the community. I mean, we don't really want it being used as a personal agent. Now, in the future, I'd like to set it up so that if you do have a personal agent running, like an OpenClaw or something like that, it can communicate with this agent. So that'll be another phase that's coming in. But we have both the privacy and terms and conditions at the bottom that you can be reviewed before accepting them. Is that the type of thing you were asking about?
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. Yeah, I was curious about like the T's and C's and like how we're like protecting ourselves from things like that. So thank you. And it's brilliant, by the way. I think it's really, really interesting. I love the earn, all the resources in the earn section, like grants and things like that. That's really brilliant. So useful.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
the thing that you put onto the Telegram group could be on there, the discounts for the the conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean,
Absolutely.
so just some of the design, intent was if you just get thrown an agent, you might not know what to ask. But if you can see all the data that's available, see that side of the equation, then you can go back to the agent and say, hey, can you do this, this, and this? You don't have to go through all the other content. But it's available either way, however somebody wants to use it. And you can point somebody new to it, it'll feel familiar, and then we can help teach them how to use an agent in a more powerful way because they can see what it's actually doing here for them.
It's quite funny, actually. I mean, Alan's asked us to test it over the last couple of weeks, and it's quite funny talking to Agent MonDAI. It's like, because sometimes like so surprised at the responses, and how did you get that, and where did you get that, and so it's actually quite fun, quite a fun exercise. And Alan, what do you want? What's the call to action? What do you want anybody in the room to do? Do you want them to sign up and test it, or
Yes,
what your
please
thoughts?
sign up, check it out,
You got a
and
link that you can put in the chat?
and see if you can break it.
Great.
It's still a little bit fragile, but I'm working on hardening it and making sure that everything is going okay.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Thanks, Alan.
I'll put the link
That's
in.
awesome. Cool. Well, that's all we got time for on that one. So thank you very much, Alan. And yeah, we're excited for everybody to give feedback on. It's been an amazing journey, and we'd love to hear or to evolve it with you now. So excited to have you as a part of the exercise. And then, Caitlin, you got to go. So your turn. Jump in. Excited to hear what's happening with you, London, and all your merry men and women there.
Okay, let me share my screen. Oh, yeah. Okay. So apologies in advance. This is not branded, and I'll be super quick because a lot of these are things you probably already know. But when Robin asked me to talk a little bit about how we've grown our socials, I thought, well, that's easy. Hire someone else. That's literally my number one suggestion is hire someone else because that has changed the game for us, was finding someone to handle our socials. I think even if you don't have budget, you can find a student, you can find, just someone to donate their time. But I think most of us who are leading the chapters probably would struggle to do it ourselves. So I have to say, again, if you can, try and engage with someone to help you, because the number one thing you can do to grow your socials is to be consistent in your posting. And it's really hard to be consistent when you're running everything else on your own. So I really, really recommend finding somebody to help you. So that's the number
What
one.
kind of budget would you suggest?
I mean, our budget is quite low, and we found someone not based in the EU so that for them it was more money. So what we're paying right now in dollars is probably about $800 a month. So it's nothing crazy, but what we've done is factored it into our monthly budget in terms of our sponsorships. So when we talk about covering our overheads, social media is included in our overheads. But obviously every city is different. So we do ours once a month. I would imagine if you're hosting weekly, you may need a bigger budget and someone who's more available. I think every city will be slightly different. But really quick, I'll just run you through this was before we hired her. So this was about 3 months prior, just looking at the data across the board. It's pretty boring, but here's after she joined us. Now you're looking at 9 months versus 3. So I do recognize that. But I mean, you can just look at the percentages here in terms of not just impressions, but just overall engagement. And then LinkedIn is where we've probably seen the most growth because our audience here in London is turning more institutional. So we do get more traction on LinkedIn than we do on X. But you can see just in terms of our followers, we've gained 1,000 followers really in 9 months. And that's all organic. We don't pay for any of our posts or boost any of our posts or anything. Not yet. It's something we're looking into getting budget for, but we haven't done that yet. So what if we'd stayed at the same place? That's where we would be versus where we actually are. So again, this is all down to our head of content that we hired, she's brilliant. So, but then I wanted to give just some quick tips that anybody can take on board, even if you can't bring somebody in, things that you can do yourself. So, number one thing I think is let the data guide your content decisions. So X and LinkedIn are really useful. You can look at all kinds of stats from the back end and see not just what formats are performing better, but also things like what day of the week, what time of day. And again, I think some of these will be different depending on where you are and who your audience is. But look at what gets the most engagement and then do more of that thing. The other thing is mixing up your content formats. I think we kind of get stuck in with a lot of like copy or photos, but I think it's really important to try and have other types of media. So short videos, I think, is kind of like the future when I tend to look at like what's Solana doing? What are some of these other bigger communities doing? And that's something that they do really, really well is filming on site at the events and then turning it around super fast. So again, matching your format to the message.
David Funk's really good at that in New York.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff you guys are putting out. It's really good. I think the videos are brilliant. And I know Eliza does videos too, I think. I've kind of like try and keep an eye online. And so I just think if you can do it, and again, like even if you don't have someone, I used to just use my phone. There's CapCut's really useful. I mean, you can throw things together quite easily now. And of course, Claude, very useful for stuff like that too. So yeah, I think experimenting, trial and error, see what works, and then again, stick with that. I
I'll
think
put some
leading,
videos of the convention center over here.
oh, nice.
That's where we go in them a little bit. So,
I'm so jealous. It looks so nice there. So it's nice and cloudy here in London. Anyway, oh yeah, okay. So, and here's something that Lou says a lot, which is about like leading with community. Like really what we do, if you put your community first, I tend to think of that as like your Northern Star. You can't really go wrong if you're prioritizing the community. And so human relatable content we have found is what does really well. So it's the difference between posting a graphic about the Commonwealth Convergence event and posting pictures of myself or other Crypto Mondays people or members of our community at that event. So we get way more engagement when we do that. So captions that feel personal. So staying away from some of the like AI slop, which is tricky, but can be done. And remember that you are the community. You're not just like a brand account. And then again with community, because I do think that's what we're all here for, right? Is making them feel seen. People love to see themselves. They love to see pictures or videos of themselves on the ground at these events. So shouting out speakers, attendees, contributors, reposting content from your community is massive. Anytime we do a Crypto Mondays London event, usually the next day, there's at least a handful of posts where people are recapping the talk or just writing about their experience. So we always try and engage with those posts, repost them or retweet them. And then again, celebrating milestones. So when we reached 4,000 followers, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but we took that moment to celebrate with our community because we wouldn't be where we are without them. And that sort of recognition builds loyalty and encourages engagement. And then final note, still sticking with the community as a theme, the moments and events that drive your calendar. So for us, obviously, like we're events, that's our bread and butter. So I think planning your content around your events and of course covering before, during, and after. So we do like lots of hype in the lead up. And then we post pictures from on the ground live at the event. We do also live stream. So it's all happening live. And then after the event, we do big thank yous and we always do crowd photos because again, people like to see themselves. And quotes, reactions on videos, things like that. That creates authentic and timely content, which again, it's the human element. I think people tend to engage more with that kind of thing. So that is it. Just super quick from me. Does anybody have any questions?
That was awesome. Yeah, real quick, I'll take this with the streaming. You know, what service do you use to do that? And if you have a sense of the engagement
Can you say the first part of the question again? Sorry.
with regards to the I'm sorry, let somebody else. I'll get off my things and ask it.
Sorry, I just missed the first bit. Sorry.
What streaming program are you using? What streaming system?
Oh, sorry, for live streaming. So we are currently using StreamYard. I have to be completely honest with you. I don't really recommend it. Initially,
Oh,
we did it because it allowed us to live stream from multiple platforms at the same time. So it would be live streaming on our YouTube, live streaming on our LinkedIn, and I think also on our X, I think. But the reality is, what we've discovered is, again, like looking at your data, it's there for a reason. So really, I encourage everyone to use your data. We can see that where we get the most people coming onto our live stream is on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn live streaming is free, and you can do it just because you have an account. So I think we're actually going to get rid of our StreamYard. But we also film our entire panel every time. So there's the live stream video, and then there's like a really nice setup video with nice audio. And we do that so that we can pull clips from it and also for our sponsors, because a lot of times we have our sponsors speaking, and that's like an added value that we give our sponsors. They're paying us, and so we give them professional photos and we give them professional video that they can then repurpose after the event.
amazing.
LinkedIn
So
have
good.
streaming now?
Yeah. You can live stream direct from your, I believe you can also live stream from X, but I'm much less well versed in X than I am on LinkedIn. So I don't know for sure about that one. I think you can live stream on all of them for free, but it's just one at a time. And it's StreamYard that kind of allows you to do it all in one go. But it's not particularly cheap and it's clunky in my.
Do you have a sense of what the engagement is on LinkedIn on the streaming?
I do not offhand. I would have to find out. But really, I know for us, it very much depends on the topic. So things like Bitcoin, trading, anything where you're making money, it tends to have a much larger audience. And so sometimes we're getting 40-ish people. I think the most we've ever had was like 50, and then some weeks we're at like 11. So this is also another reason why I'm like, I don't know how useful it is really, because if people want to watch the talk back later, they can find the professionally recorded video on our YouTube as well. So it's something that we're kind of internally debating at the moment.
Cool stuff.
Right. Amazing. Thanks
Okay.
so much, Caitlin. That's awesome. You're
Thanks,
setting the
guys.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Have
you.
fun. Enjoy your dinner.
Good to see you all. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye. David, over to you. Give us an update on all of your bouncing around and your social media skills.
You know what? It's pretty amazing here. Like, because I just happen to be. Oh, what happened to my
We lost you
thing
pretty
at this
fast there.
amazing place right now? So, um, I was lucky enough to stay at this Atai. We got a 2-bedroom suite here, 1,300 square feet here, and I'm about to walk over to the. Like I said, I was about to walk over to the convention center to
I'm sorry,
go
how
check
did you
out
get
the
that place,
consensus.
David? That looks awesome. How did you get that place?
Um, I I leverage a business partner. How about that? So it's a pretty amazing spot
Well
here.
done.
Yeah.
Got
So
another way of saying blackmail?
yeah, that's
Blackmail,
my
David.
room. That's one
Yeah.
of the bathrooms. This is bedroom
Oh
number
my
2,
word.
and then this is the
Gracious
master
me.
bathroom. But
So this is when we've
yeah,
arrived,
capture
and this
if
is
you
what we get.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm walking over to the convention center soon, but yeah, I've been trying to clip a lot of pictures and videos to post later on.
Yeah.
This weekend, next week, I'm gonna just gonna do one huge blast because I took a lot of content for that stuff. So excited to post off that stuff from Bitcoin conference to the tokenized conference that me and Lou are at to consensus today. Unfortunately, they lost my luggage, so I'm going with the same clothes for a couple days. So I landed yesterday, and my luggage is lost right now. So I've been fighting with the airlines to try to get my luggage back. They don't know where it is. I don't know.
Hey, my clothes
So
are your clothes if you want to borrow any.
yeah. Well, good thing we're going to a conference. At least I get a change of shirts. At least, right?
Nice.
Lou, are you at the concert already, Lou?
I'm walking, I'm about 15 minutes away.
Okay. I'm
So
like,
David,
I
can you
guess I'm
just give
like,
us a very like an
yeah.
elevator update on the 3 things you've been at now so far? Just give us an idea of what's been happening from a Crypto Mondays perspective in those.
So we had a huge Crypto Mondays event. on Bitcoin Vegas. That was fantastic on top of the Circle Hotel, led by the local team. And
Alberto and
Alberto's been
Praveen are on the
amazing.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Alberto's been
Yes,
leading the charge in the Las Vegas chapter with Caitlin and Praveen. But yeah, I went over to his house. He's a great guy, and hung out with him. It's good to form that local relationship when we're here in New York, just to make sure all the teams are in alignment and putting the good word out about Crypto Mondays. So yesterday we had the event here, led by Julie, Praveen, and Ivan. Fantastic job. Really took over the whole hotel. We had the rooftop networking. The folks from the Nigerian brothers, John Nigerian and Mark the Presley, presenting. So we got the financials, TradFi celebrity presentation, networking all night. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Great job to the local teams here in Miami. And it's
yes,
Miami Fort Lauderdale too. So yeah, it's great.
brilliant.
Ivan and Julie did a really fantastic job. And
Brilliant, David. Thanks so
Praveen
much.
was there. Praveen was there clipping all the pictures and videos, so we get some good
Good
content from
man.
Praveen. So good for him.
Yeah, just
Good
just
man.
the aura of having all the chapter leads in town at one time has been really helpful. Like the whole Solana community is descending on Miami right now. They're doing the
Yeah,
co-locate day at Consensus Solana Accelerate, and they've been really impressed with what's happening, and it's already led to the new Solana Accelerator headquarters is being built in Wynwood, and they asked us just yesterday to help run their gaming meetups now here and in Vegas. So we already talked to Unity evangelists about that and all that stuff too. So that wouldn't have happened without David, Lou, and everyone, all the other chapter leads in town to show. It's one thing for me just to talk about it and they see in person what's happening with the Crypto Mondays community. So it's great to have everyone here and in Vegas.
Brilliant. Thanks, Pravi. That's amazing, man. And let me just finish the formalities. So Pat's he's building up to head of steam there in Stamford. So how's your build up going, Pat?
Hey, Robin.
Reinventing Stamford,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah. Hey, hi everybody. Yeah, so our first event is on Monday, this coming Monday. We've got about 125 people signed up. This is like a relaunch of Stanford. I just noticed after Caitlin went through like Twitter and all that, the last time Stanford did a Twitter post was 23. So I'm gonna redo that.
Brilliant.
On the last call, I think I mentioned, yeah, we have a new logo, and it's picking up steam. We have two sponsors, about to be a third. I'm at Ondo, so Ondo is going to be a sponsor. We're running a little over on the cost side, so we'll take care of the overage there. Yeah, we're going to have a fireside chat. Maybe, I'd be very happy if we have like 65 to 75 people. I think we'll hit higher than that because Stanford, the area doesn't really have a lot of these types of events. So I'm hoping that those who sign up, unlike in New York and maybe London and some other high population areas where you have a lot of choices, that, we get a good group. But this is a relaunch. Wish us luck. We're having the CEO of Next Bank that just launched on a fireside chat. He's flying up from North Carolina the day after Mother's Day. So we're going to try to give him some extra time. And yeah, it should be good. So,
Great, Pat.
Wish us luck. And
Well
on the
done.
next call,
Yeah.
I'll give you an update.
It's getting some momentum. Well done. That's absolutely fabulous. Thank you for stepping into the shoes there. Some big shoes.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
and these calls are helpful. Just hearing what others are you know running
Picking up.
into some ideas. I mean, it's we'll see what we can do here. So
Brilliant.
appreciate all the advice.
Brilliant, Pat. Thanks a million and good luck.
Thank you.
So we're open to the floor now. Anybody that'd like to check in? I mean, Alberto, that'd be nice to hear from you, seeing as you were instrumental in a recent event. So if you're able to speak, open your mic and let's hear what was up there.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Um,
Good.
yeah, so I've been talking with what I like to call the Crypto Mondays residency at Circa, where we are meeting up on a weekly
I
basis, work.
love that.
Yeah, I never would have thought I would have a Vegas residency until now. Yeah, we're working with the team at Circa. They have two what they call resident plebs, which are pushing the Bitcoin narrative, crypto narrative. Great to have us in town at Legacy, which is like the rooftop bar at Circa. Very nice lounge. You can see the whole strip, and we started it about on a weekly basis about a month ago now. It's slowly been growing. We've probably seen like 100% increase in attendance week over week, given the anomaly of last week where we had over like I don't know, maybe 200 people show up last Monday for Bitcoin Mondays during the Bitcoin conference. So that was really cool. And yeah, yesterday we had about 30 people show up. Really locals. I've kind of already knew like, there's a lot of locals, Web3 people here in Vegas. It's just that they don't come out. So now that we have a nice venue for them to attend, great drinks and everything else, networking. I think it's a great place to join. So if you guys are ever in Vegas, or just have colleagues, family, friends coming, definitely let us know. We'll be more than happy to welcome in over to the Crypto Mondays residency there. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we have founders from everywhere. Like yesterday, we had a prediction market guy kind of speaking, talking about prediction markets. Oh, I'm sorry. What would you say, Luke?
No, I was just going to say that Vegas is an awesome market. I know they have the most Bitcoin ATMs per capita by a wide margin.
Yeah, there's and the Circle people want to do a lot of stuff with the Bitcoin community. So if you guys have ideas, they're open. They've been very receptive to our feedback and comments. So yeah, we do have a casino here in Vegas that's open to hearing from us. So let us know if you guys have any ideas.
Great.
And
Thanks,
just to give
Alberto.
you some context, like Alberto's been working on Crypto Mondays long before it became a co-organizer. Like last year, so this is 2 years in a row now. He's hosted the top side event for the Bitcoin conference. Last year, he did the Raiders golf tournament with Lou Kerner, which is awesome. And
Brilliant.
and the other thing that I've noticed, just from a the growth point of view of Alberto and the chapter personally is he's really taking feedback. Like, and even from yesterday, his number one thing is like, how can we improve? So it's great. So, like last year we had the golf tournament and, we decided, to increase the community engagement, which he's obviously done really well. And then, some of the feedback we got from the community, from the Bid Angels community, tokenized community, is they wanted nicer venues, and Alberto's done that. And the other thing about getting speakers too, that's one thing that we used to do too many happy hours. Now Alberto has like speakers at the event, so it's really great to be engaged and get feedback from the community, and he's done all that. So great job, Alberto.
Thanks, Prof. Appreciate it. Yeah, always open to improving it and just growing the community out here. And what I like about it here is that every conference, every industry comes to Vegas in one way, shape, or form all year long. So, a lot of times, we can meet other people that are not just Web3, and we want to make sure that we reach out to them as well if you guys know anybody.
Brilliant. So you know how to contact each other on the Telegram group. Is everybody on the Telegram group? Is anybody here not on the Telegram group?
I don't think I am.
Right, Crystal, because you haven't met me yet. Haha. You see, you have to meet me first. The key to
Fantastic.
the door. But no, we can put you on there, no problem. That's absolutely fine. So that's great. We'll put you on. Everybody else is on. And thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And anybody else who'd like to do a check-in, latest and greatest from their territory or their city or things that are happening in their turf?
Robin,
All
hi.
good?
Um,
There you go. Charles, welcome, dude.
hi. Thank you. Lou very kindly put me in touch with this guy called Mateus. I don't know if you met him, and he's sort of keen on he's an event organizer.
Complimenting you. Yes.
So I'm actually we're organizing some stuff. So we should have a date for at least the next event in May anyway. And
Very
if
good.
he's on board, we can do something a bit more regularly, which would be great. I know I've been a little bit lacking, but like all of us, we have so many things to do.
So many hats, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
also quite nice to have somebody compliment you. So we've noticed that if, instead of just saying, sorry, somebody's running, got that territory, we say, well, here they are, go and meet them, see how you can help each other. Because I know when I was running my one, I needed like a backup. So, because sometimes I wasn't there. And
Yeah.
so to have somebody to compliment you makes quite a big difference, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had a couple of good calls so far, so I think we'll get something going. It takes a little while, but in the next couple of weeks we should have a date, and that's great. You're absolutely right. Trying to do things on one's own is nigh on impossible unless you're a genius or whatever.
Excellent, Charles. Thanks very much. So just to end off, I'm just gonna, if I can get myself together here, just a couple of things from my perspective. Um, you got that? Yes. So just on partnerships, we trying hard as Crypto Mondays, Lou, Alan, and I to try and coordinate and to try and get partnerships that fuel the system. So if there's anybody that has anybody that we'd like to cross-pollinate across the system, please refer it to us and we'll help coordinate that. Press releases, please feel free to submit press releases if you want to. We can do 4 a month. So we've always got credits, and we can queue them up anyway. So if you have something that you want to write about or send a voice, whatever it is, and we can transform it for you, give us a shout. And then please remember to use your calendars in your Luma. I noticed that we've created calendars for a number of chapters, but the events are not on the calendars. So when you do an event, do it on your Crypto Mondays Luma calendar, please, because then we can support you. Lou's got a guest lists that he can complement you with, and then we can see what's going on and we can help you with it.
Wait, how do you do that?
Crystal, I'm pretty sure there's a calendar for Denver. I'm going to have a look after the call, and then I will either send it to you or make you a member of that. You Denver, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that for you,
Thank you.
Crystal. Okay, cool. And then Crypto Monday Zoom, we encourage you to host it if you want to. It's every Wednesday. We can queue them up. If you have featured guests that you would like to have featured, Lou, what were the parameters, the requirements? Either somebody special
Yeah,
in your
these should,
community.
yeah,
Yeah.
be somebody in our community who's doing something interesting, or if there's somebody, outside of the community who's either, some big name wants to share his journey. Like, I've, in Vegas, I met Ross Ulbricht's mom. So, and she says she'd be up to be a featured guest. So that's somebody, who I assume has a tremendously interesting story, journey to share. But the idea is that, this is, A, both to educate the community, and B, and help uplift members. So, I would assume over time that there will be more members and higher profile, and also hopefully over time we can extend it beyond, just at a time that's convenient for people in the US. So, have times that are convenient for Asia and Europe as well.
Great, thanks, Lou. And then sharing, so Lilia, by the way, coordinates the bookings for the Crypto Monday Zoom. So you can just email Lilia or me if you want to do something like that. There's also a form on the website if you want to come through that. And then in terms of sharing socials, just make it easy for me because I'm that person, that Caitlin was speaking about, unfortunately, amongst many other things. So just make it easy for me. If there's things that you want us to amplify, we're always keeping an eye out, but make it easy for us to share the tweets, the LinkedIns. If you've got photographs, share it with a caption, and we're happy to amplify that for you. So that's everything from me. And if there's any last words anybody wants to have, I think we had a fantastic action-packed session here.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin.
Much appreciated. Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
awesome work that you're all doing. Really appreciate it. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.